make it 4 straight losses for the Giants as they fell at home to the Washington Commanders 27-22 in Week 9. So let's break down some Big Blue football. We're going to do it with a host from WFAN. She is the great Danielle McCartan, and she joins me now. Danielle, how you doing?
What an introduction, Dexter. I hope I can live up to it.
Well, you are great, so there's no problem with that. How was your Halloween? Because last time we talked, we had all the Halloween references around the Jets. How was your Halloween?
That's right. Actually, I went to the Jet game that night, and there was a haunted house in the parking lot, like a real one, and that was probably the highlight of the game, besides the fact that the Jets won, but it was really cool.
Okay, that made me a little nervous. I'm like, okay, when that's the highlight before you get into the stadium, that's probably not a good thing. But it worked out for the Jets. They did win. But we're here to talk about the Giants, who did not win on Sunday. And Danielle, all the talk heading into this one was about the Giants' offensive struggles, right? Well, the Giants, they scored 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones threw for 2, rushed for another. What did you make of the offense's performance here in Week 9?
Yeah, bad day for the Daniel Jones haters, wasn't it, Dexter, today? 20 for 26, 77% completion percentage. You said two passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 0 interceptions, and after all that, a 119.7 rating on the day. So, with a team, by the way, according to today's broadcast, that leads the league in drops. I mean, they were just very productive in moving the ball on the ground today. That was the way to beat this Washington defense, and they executed it perfectly. The problem was, as soon as the Giants fell behind, especially by 2 scores, you knew they were in trouble because you knew they had to abandon what was working sooner or later because of the time constraints. Obviously running the ball takes a lot of time off the clock, and if you're down 2 scores, it's not a good situation to be in. So they had to abandon that sooner or later. I also think, by the way, for the record, that pass interference call on Darius Slayton that was late in the game that took a touchdown off the board for the Giants was total nonsense and a huge pivotal play in this game because the Giants had to settle for a field goal instead of the touchdown, keeping 4 points off the board right there. And I just think overall, the offense did enough to win today. When you score 22 points in the NFL, you think that's enough and you expect that's enough to win the game. And unfortunately, the defense couldn't help out the Giants today.
All right, so that gets me right to the next thing I want to get to. We go to the other side of the ball. The Giants, they came into this game leading the league in sacks. However, they did not record a single sack against the Commanders. They struggled to get stops in this game. Danielle, is this loss on the defense?
No doubt about it, Dexter. This loss today is completely on the defense. They can't tackle. I mean, they can't tackle a guy in the open field. They can't wrap a guy up. They can't sack the quarterback. I think, who was it? Drew Phillips or Tyler Nubin or one of them was going after Jaden Daniels and ran right by him. I don't know what you're doing out there. And I feel like Borat here, but Washington had great success in the red zone today because the Giants defense could not come up with a stop. I mean, how does a team leading the league in sacks not get home a single time today? And how do the Giants only have 1 interception this entire season in 9 games? And by the way, I went back and found it. It was Week 1 against the Vikings, and the Giants were already losing 28-6 at that point in the third quarter when it happened. Hardly game-changing. This defensive unit, besides the guys in the trenches, really seems to be devoid of talent. And I also have to give an honorable mention here to Coach Dable this week because the decision to go for 2 points the first time around was a ridiculous decision, no doubt about it. And you have to take the points in that situation. There was still plenty of time, and the Giants did end up getting the ball back. So, yes, it's on the defense, but honorable mention to the coach for some poor decision-making down the stretch.
All right, going down on the defense, not liking their performance there. Also, I got to say, I appreciate the Borat reference there. Really well done there. All right, Danielle, so when you look at these 2 teams, right, the Giants, they're at the bottom of the NFC East, and the Commanders, they're now atop the division. Is the difference between these 2 franchises the fact that it appears that one appears to have gotten it right at quarterback and the other one hasn't? Is that the difference right now?
I mean, Jaden Daniels looks really good, mostly in part because Washington's offensive line is really good. I mean, case in point, the league leading in sacks Giants defense didn't record a single sack today. So conversely, Daniel Jones is the 3rd most sacked quarterback in the entire league. 27 times. So the Commanders going into today's game had the 8th best line in the league. Giants had the 26th. And then, of course, Andrew Thomas is out for the season. So that doesn't help. And I'm telling you, Jaden Daniels, if the Giants drafted him, he would not be having the same year as he is there. for the reason of the offensive line alone. So time will tell what he is, what he ends up being, and I'm not going to overreact to that. But there is one thing for certain. This growth is correlated to the strength of that offensive line, something I wish the Giants could get right once and for all.
Yeah, they've struggled to get the right pieces together on the offensive line or stay healthy, however you want to look at it. Last thing for me, Danielle, Giants are now 2-7. They needed a win this week to keep their season alive. So what are you looking to see from this Giants team over the final 8 games of the season?
Yeah, I mean, you look at today's game. Today's game was a game that the Giants needed to have any hope. And unfortunately, it didn't go their way today. And the New York Times cites the Giants as having a less than 1% chance to make the playoffs. So it's going to take an actual miracle for them. Like Mary and Joseph are going to have to come down from the heavens for the Giants to make the postseason and make the playoffs. So that said, I fully expect Ojulari to be traded by Tuesday. Let the Giants stockpile some draft assets or start to. I need to see the rookies continue to develop, especially Malik Damers. I need all these guys to end this season, healthy and able to participate beginning at the start of the new league year for next year. And I need to see Brian Daboll start to grow as a play caller. And today I want to point to, again, I'm going to go back to the 2-point conversion plays. Daniel Jones, if you go back and watch, he had exactly 0 options, 0 places to throw the ball. I mean, even what's his name in the post game was like, hey, at least the running back should be able to make himself available if he's got no assignments. And that's a great point. So why aren't the Giants coaching their players to do something like that? Or are they? I don't know. But Daboll said he liked the plays in those situations, which I can't wrap my mind around because nobody was available for Daniel Jones to throw the ball to. So then I think he's got to get better at drawing those types of plays up. He also said that the decision was analytics based. I mean, I'm not a mathematician here, but the Giants haven't converted a single 2-point conversion all season long. At what point does that factor into the head coach's decision making? So lots of things that need to be just cleaned up and tidied up over the next couple of weeks. And unfortunately, I mean, the season's pretty much over for the Giants, unfortunately.
That last statement is not hope for the Giants fan, but you did have some hope. You said there's a 1% chance. So you're saying there is a chance, Danielle. That's some hope for the fans.
Start praying on the shooting stars. Look out your window tonight, Giants fans, and make a prayer on that because it's not happening.
Man, I was hoping Danielle could make the Big Blue fans out there feel a little bit better, but she did give you some things to watch over the final 8 games of the season, and we'll see how that all shakes out for the Giants. That is the great Danielle McCartan from WFAN. Check her out on the airwaves there. Danielle, always a pleasure to talk some New York football with you and about the Giants. We'll do it again soon.
All right, Dexter, you got it. Thank you.